30 minutes. I hate these long videos, but I got you guys with a summary. Before I start, a lot of you guys might be wondering how I've been feeling about the James Charles situation. Truth to be told, I don't think that he's a child predator because there's no proof that he messaged those boys while knowing that they were underage, and not all the allegations have been confirmed as true. However, all the backlash that he got is what he gets for being so uncautious. James is an idiot. Let's see if anything is updated after this video. Also, subscribe. James begins the video with "Hi sisters," and it was too happy for predatory allegations addressing time. Then he rambles on about the back scene and stalls. Then he says something very interesting, which is that he has a lot of positive things to talk about, but he recognizes that he can't just come back to social media so abruptly, so he'll talk about the allegations as well. Oh there, buddy. People are out here calling you a child predator, literally the worst thing that you can be called in my opinion, and you treat that as something that you have to get out of the way before getting to the positive stuff. That's what's implied with the wording when he says I'll talk about the allegations as well. It implies that the allegations are in addition to what he wanted to talk about, as opposed to being the focus of the video. James, either you're denser than a ball pit ball or you don't care about anything. You need to fire your PR team because they have no idea what they just let you do. Actually, the editor and all the other people who greenlit this video need to be fired too, because this is not good. James then talks about how he's been glowing during his break from social media. YouTubers who have been in scandals love to talk about their so-called growth. You're not supposed to talk about your growth, you're supposed to show your growth. Shut up about accountability and growth until you show them. James then does the dumbest thing and says that he's gonna do his makeup while addressing the allegations. When I heard that, I thought to myself, this man did not just say that he was gonna do a get ready with me while I address my predatory allegations video, right? I didn't hear that. Then I rubbed my eyes, rewinded the video, and it was true. He did say that. Fire your entire PR team. The US economy supposedly has more jobs now. Fire them. They'll be fine. Even James Charles acknowledges how inappropriate this is in the video, but then he says that he's gonna go through with it anyway because doing his makeup calms his anxiety and is his art form. Look, James, Jamie, Charlie, no. There you are making excuses to justify a bad idea. It's hard to live with anxiety, however, that is no excuse to make a get ready with me while I address allegations of me liking children. You did not do your makeup while addressing Tati in your explosive video. This video should be even more serious, yet you're gonna do your makeup. I get that makeup is your art form, but this is not the time to express yourself. This is predatory allegation time. The problem with him doing his makeup while addressing child predatory allegations is perfectly illustrated when he says that by the end of the video, his goals are to achieve a beautiful look and have a serious conversation with us. You should only be focusing on the conversation, and if this was so important to you, you'd shove the makeup brush where the sun don't shine and just talk about the allegations. James Charles then continues to show off his brain cell by saying that it is incorrect to call this a scandal. Here is the definition of scandal, and that is exactly what this is. You're a dummy, James Charles. Stop trying to educate people about what to call a scandal when you can't even address predatory allegations correctly, nor define the word scandal properly. James then has the audacity to say that this scandal was the biggest wake-up call for him. The thing is that Bye Sister should have been the wake-up call, not this. Speaking of Bye Sister, James says that this scandal is much different than Bye Sister, but then also says that this situation may make it look like he hasn't grown since Bye Sister. This situation is actually similar to Bye Sister because it deals with inappropriate sexual interactions, this time towards boys and not guys though. If this is so different, James, then why do you claim it looks like you made no growth? There has to be some similarities for this to be a measure of your growth from Bye Sister. The video then continues with an apology to everyone who supported him after Bye Sister for letting them down and another promise that he will do better. I don't buy that. James still sounds like he thinks he knows everything, as shown by him telling us to stop describing this as a scandal. I don't think he'll message minors anymore, but I also don't think that his scandals will stop happening anytime soon. James also said that many people ran with false accusations made against him. He said that a certain drama channel made a Twitter thread which said there were 20 James Charles victims. James also claimed that this was not true, that there were not 20 victims of him. The drama channel in question that made the Twitter thread was Deaf Noodles. Deaf Noodles actually reported about someone who accused James Charles, and even after the person admitted that this allegation was untrue, Deaf Noodles left the tweet up. Only after a bunch of backlash did Deaf Noodles put up another tweet where he says that the person lied for clout. Anyway, something very interesting came out of James Charles' mouth, which was that the point of Tinder was to match with adults. So you knew the danger of using Instagram as a dating app, i.e. there's no guarantee that the people you talk to are adults, yet you still went through with it. If guys lied about their age on Tinder, then people would have had a lot more sympathy for you because that is a place where everyone is presumed to be 18. James then then implies he was desperate, yada yada, and that most people who posted TikToks about interactions with him, whether real or fake, went viral. This incentivized people to make up more interactions with him, whether it's a meme or not. James continues by saying that he won't include receipts because he doesn't have them, which I think is fair because 1, a lot of conversations are allegedly made up, so he can't have proof of something that never happened, and 2, a lot of messages are from Snapchat, which he erased super quickly. James then asserts that desperate was not the right word to use in his holding myself accountable video. However, earlier he described himself as desperate when he said that he made himself accessible to anyone who would give him attention. Saying that is the same thing as saying he's desperate, so I don't know why he's acting like he's doing much better than that in this video. James then talks about how he wanted the best of both worlds when it came to dating as a celebrity. He wanted to date as James Dickinson during the day and be YouTube star Jamie Charlie at night. He says that he would love to date a celebrity, but that there aren't many queer male celebrities that he can date, so he's probably gonna date regular people. I thought about the power imbalance thing after watching ABBA and Preach's Call Me Carson video. If James Charles can't date someone with less influence than him, then who can he date? The accepted dating pool is 95% smaller for James Charles and for other huge creators. I get that the power imbalance can get people to do things that make them uncomfortable for famous people, but at the same time I think it is unreasonable to expect creators to date people with the same level of power. James should be allowed to date regular people as long as he doesn't exploit them. A lot of famous people have dated and even married regular people, and I don't think there's an issue with that unless the famous person is exploiting the regular person. Somewhere in this video, James tells us that there are no James Charles victims, which is strange because he referred to the 2 boys that came forward as victims in his last video. I don't know if I can call the guy who lied about his age for clout a victim because he was trying to bait James Charles for clout, but the other one who lied, maybe because he was starstruck, is a victim. They both still saw things from a grown man that they shouldn't have seen, and that is unacceptable. James also says that since Spy's sister, he's been more cautious by telling guys that are interested in him to leave their phone by the door when they visit, and that one of the guys that visited him hit him. I can't imagine James Charles hitting back. He looks like more of a noodle to me. Finally, James repeats some probably empty promises and talks about the positive stuff for the rest of the video. Thoughts? His PR team should definitely be fired. Most people won't think about the subtext of the video much, but I did. The way he talked about having to address the allegations at the beginning made him sound like an afterthought. It wasn't what he said as much as the way his words were arranged. Some of you may be like, oh, but he said it was unscripted. You can't blame the structure of his words. What you don't realize though is that it being unscripted makes it worse because that means that that's how he really feels about the situation. It all feels like something that he has to get out of the way before making content. How could you care so little about addressing predatory allegations about yourself, especially when it involves children? Through this James Charles mess, I've realized that many drama channels state the opinions of the public rather than their own. They will say that they just report on things that happen. They don't give their opinion like commentary channels, but that is a lie. Unless they just play clips of the drama or just narrate the drama, they give their opinions, even if it's just by saying things like yikes or telling creators what they should have done as opposed to making the mistake they made. What drama channels usually do, however, is put comments of what other people have been saying as if to use that as a shield from the mob, just in case they say something that the mob doesn't like or say something that aged poorly, they can pin it on others' opinions. I'm scared of the mob too sometimes, but I still present opinions as my own and often try to form my own conclusions with the information everyone's been given. If I'm wrong about anything, I'm wrong and I will update. Like, say that James turns out to actually be a child predator and there's concrete evidence out, I will take back giving him the benefit of a doubt, say that I was wrong, and condemn him. There's nothing hypocritical about changing your mind. I think that many drama channels feel the need to always be right, so they are lukewarm on a lot of topics or post the opinions of the public rather than their own. It's okay to be wrong as long as you have the balls to admit it. Some of them in the future might say, oh, you don't like me because you said this, da 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 da, which is ironic because giving criticism does not mean that I don't like you. Just like when you give criticism to big creators, it doesn't mean that you don't like them. What I think that drama channels do right is shed light on situations that a lot of people otherwise wouldn't know about. That's the video. Like and subscribe if you made it this far. Bye.